Ozark Season 4 Part 1 recently dropped on Netflix, and boy was it a doozy. Like the past 3 seasons, the first installment of the 4th season did not fail to impress its audience and is set up for one hell of an ending. But how do we think this fantastic thriller is going to end? In today's video, we're going to be diving into some predictions for the end of Ozark. So stick around, because real fans will not want to miss a single second of this video. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. First up, can both Marty and Wendy Byrde make it out to the end alive? Many fans are speculating that at least one of the Byrde parents will meet their demise before the final credits roll at the end of the last episode. But how much validity does this have? Are fans just hoping that something dramatic will happen for the sake of it happening, or could we realistically see one or both of the Byrde parents die? Well, for starters, I think where there is smoke, there is fire. And as we've seen so far during the amazing run of Ozark, the show is never afraid to kill someone off. Take the season 3 finale, for example, with the final scene being the gruesome murder of Helen Pierce. While we were expecting something to happen when Wendy and Marty found themselves face to face with the cartel, I'm not sure how many people expected that. So what's to say that something unexpected couldn't happen again come the season 4 finale? If I had to guess which one will die, I would honestly lean more towards Marty in a Breaking Bad style death, going out on the top of your game with nowhere else to run, which would leave Wendy and the kids to most likely continue to run Byrde Enterprises. On the other hand, I could see Wendy also being the one to bite the dust, as we know that Marty could potentially find his way out of the money laundering game altogether, leaving Wendy to fend for herself. If this were the case, we would have to assume that the pair have split up, which honestly I see as an inevitability at this point. And if that were the case and Wendy were no longer with Marty, I could then see Ruth taking some long-awaited anger and jealousy out on Wendy, not gonna lie. But of course, these are all predictions and speculations, but I do find it hard to believe that both of the Byrde parents find their way out of this show alive. But the Byrde parents are not the only Byrde family members at risk in this series finale. Will the kids get a happy ending? This is going to be a gut-wrenching conversation to have, because in all honesty, the children never asked for this. Both Jonah and Charlotte never asked to be in the middle of their parents' crime organization, but obviously they are too deep now and are right in the thick of things. But does that mean they deserve a gruesome death? I would love to say no, but that's not how situations like this normally end. Obviously, these things start out with relatively good intentions that end up becoming everyone's worst nightmare. So what will happen to the children? Well, as we saw in the first half of season 4, there was a car crash that involved the Byrde family, and we're unsure as to who the survivors of that crash are as of this recording. What if one or both of the children pass away in the crash? On one hand, it would be extremely devastating for the audience to find out that both children are dead this early into the final season, but at the same time, wouldn't this be exactly what Marty and Wendy deserve? Don't they deserve to feel the consequences of what they've done and what they let their children get involved in? Obviously, they've felt some consequences along the way, but honestly, none of them have hit their family very directly. Wouldn't it be just desserts for the Byrde parents to have to see both of their children die living the crime-ridden life that they built for them? It would definitely lead to some interesting situations for the surviving Byrde parents for the series finale. But at the same time, some people are suggesting that only one of the children will make it out of the car crash, emotionally devastating the surviving child. Honestly, I see this as the most likely scenario. In season 4, we see Charlotte and Jonah having a conversation about their hope for the future. And while it is heartwarming at the time, it would make one of them dying so much harder to bear. Knowing that they had hopes and dreams of leaving this life behind only to die in it would be so poetically painful for the family and the audience, quite frankly. But again, this is all speculation, and for all we know, both of the parents died in the car accident, and it's up to the children to finish what their parents started, which is yet another potentially amazing theory, but one that would be pretty upsetting for the audience. So I doubt the show goes down this road. But you never know with Ozark. Speaking of not knowing, what happened to Ruth? When we first met Ruth, she was a bit of a rat and not exactly a fan favorite, as her intentions were quite devious. But as time went on and we grew alongside her, the audience learned to fall in love with Ruth and sympathize with her and what she has endured. So far, I think it's safe to argue that she's gone through the most devastating journey, and out of everyone on the show, deserves a happy ending the most. But is that what we're gonna get? We are unsure as as of this recording, especially after what has happened recently in Season 4. It looks like Ruth will be framed for the murders of Wyatt and Darlene, according to many fans on Reddit, which makes sense, but who would do this? I would guess that Marty would frame Ruth, as a way of possibly to get her out of the game, and as a way to protect her from Yavi, the real killer of Darlene and Wyatt. But technically, as of this recording, we do not know that. All we know is that, in all honesty, it's probably going to come down to one of Yavi and Ruth having to kill the other, and we really hope that it will be Ruth killing Yavi. I can see this happening as another Breaking Bad-like ending for a character that resembles Jesse Pinkman in a number of ways, but it also could go south for Ruth really fast. We've seen so far throughout the run of this show that the writers and the showrunner like to do things their own way, as they have done an amazing job of staying original. So there's a chance that this ending is just off the rails and none of these predictions come true, and this video is just a big waste of your time. But is talking about a show as amazing as Ozark ever a waste of anyone's time? Yeah, that's what I thought. So when can we stop talking about the show and actually watch the series finale? When do we think the show will be dropping its second half of Season 4 on Netflix? When can we expect to experience the end of Ozark? Honestly, I would love to say that we have an exact date and a trailer and some plot details for the second half of Season 4, but that would be a pretty darn dirty lie, to be honest with you right now. As of this recording, we have absolutely no idea when we will be able to see the finale episodes of this amazing show. All we do know is that it is confirmed to be released in 2022, but seeing as it's only March, there's a chance that we don't see the second half of this season until much later in the year. My guess is that Netflix would either like to do one of two things: compete with other streaming services and release content at the same time as them, or avoid competition and release when nothing else is being released. Now, the problem with that is it seems like from now until the end of the year, Disney Plus is dropping a must-watch show. In just a few weeks, they will be releasing Marvel's Moon Knight, and a few weeks after that finale, they will be releasing Obi-Wan Kenobi. A few weeks following that show, will be releasing Secret Invasion, and this cycle goes on and on for Disney Plus until they end the year with Season 3 of their hit flagship title, The Mandalorian. Additionally, Netflix will be releasing Stranger Things Season 4 later this year, as well as the release date for that is May 24th, which will already be competing with Obi-Wan Kenobi. This means that Netflix likely does want to compete for views with Disney Plus, which means that we can speculate that Ozark Season 4 will be released around the same time as another huge Disney Plus show like She-Hulk or Andor, which will likely drop sometime in August. So, unfortunately, if I were to bet on the rest of Season 4 for Ozark being released, I would bet on sometime in August, but hopefully I'm wrong and we get an announcement soon that we will be getting the rest of the show sooner rather than later. That's all we have for you guys today on the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.